Yes. This is an essay that I wrote called Through the Mind's Eye. And I'm especially interested in hearing from my fellow ethnicophones here, or those who are really familiar with how the kernels look. If you're against them, that's okay. Just please try to keep it civil. And if you want to do the essay and you have no clue who these people are and just want to look them up and try, go ahead anyway. And I'd be interested to see what you think as well. Okay. Here's an interesting exercise for me, but I need your help to see if I'm right. Check Wikipedia, Google Images, or even better, YouTube, as they have videos of interviews and speeches. For those who don't know, I've been totally blind since I was 2 months old. I've never seen color, light, or a human face, so naturally my first impression is by voice. Usually I don't think about looks, but this time it's different. My mother says that she can tell someone's personality just by looking into his or her eyes, and at his or her facial expressions. I want to see if I can do the same strictly by voice, and match the descriptions to personality. Colonel Yorgos Papadopoulos. I never heard him as an old man, only when he was in power. I'm not sure if I could handle hearing him at the end of his life, as he was probably very weak from cancer and a muscle disease, and to see such a great man reduced to that would make me cry for sure. But I have heard some very passionate speeches in which it seemed that he was shouting, and have also found one recording where he was calm, and one where it seemed that he was speaking like a poet, with calmness and such beautiful rhythms that it was amazing. I imagine him to be on the short side, with a very stern but caring face. He's not the kind of person you would want to cross. Mostly, he's serious, and I could imagine him having the ability to look right through you, either to melt you or to discover to uncover any dishonesty and lack of loyalty that you might possess. But I can also see how, if he was proud of you, he could make you feel truly special, and how given the right circumstances, he could mesmerize you with his voice and probably his eyes. I think, not one to mince words, I think that you could see the honesty and determination in his face and could easily trust him to give orders and to know what he was doing. I know that he was in his late 40s and 50s when he was in power, but his voice gives him the quality of an older, far more experienced man. I think he would be extremely hurt to see where we are now. And when a man like him hurts, it's never pretty to see. On the flip side, when such a man smiles, it's like the sun entering a dark room and filling it with light and joy just for an instant before it's gone again. I would imagine him to have a very neat appearance, almost too much so, everything perfect and in its right place. Yet I also see an energy and enthusiasm as he appears to be excitable, and probably has those eyes that light up when he's eager to share something, or when things are going as they should. Brigadier General Stylianos Patakos. Mostly, I've heard him as a very old man. He's 99 currently, but I've also heard a few clips of him when he was in power. Still, they weren't really enough to give me an idea of him in his younger days, so I must visualize him mostly as old. To be fair, I know that he was always seen as a balding man, so I would imagine that he has very little hair left now, if at all, probably very thin. I imagine him to be of average height, though probably a tiny bit shorter now than he was in the past. He's also most likely thin, and that sometimes happens with age. I know that he smiled a lot during the Revolution, and to this day he seems very easygoing. I see him as having a very wise old face, almost like a grandfather. It truly sounds as if he has false teeth or some such, but at 99 that's to be expected. While he could be very firm, he also seems like someone extremely loyal and trustworthy with whom you could share all of your secrets, and from whom you could get very good advice. That said, I do know that now at least he's a very private man. I think he's a lot more patient than Colonel Papadopoulos, slow to anger and very generous, but still a force to be reckoned with. He seems more likely to show emotion, and I could imagine him with a full and honest laugh if he's in the right frame of mind. Yet the pain and anguish he has endured, I think, would show in his face now, and of course he would have many wrinkles. He's definitely the thinking type, so I'd imagine his eyes would slowly scan you while you're talking to judge you, more on personality and wording than appearance. I think he has a more relaxed appearance than Colonel Papadopoulos, especially now in his old age. Colonel Nikolaos Makarezos. No matter what I do, I can't find any voice clips of him anywhere, so everything that I'm about to say is based strictly on what I know of him as an economist. I would imagine him to be the shy and quiet type, dressing conservatively with a serious expression. He gets the work done and likes to remain behind the scenes. What other reason can there possibly be for absolutely no speeches being available from him or even mentioned? I see him as a quick problem solver, one who could snap together numbers at the drop of a hat, or perhaps he would want to give it thought and effort before giving you an answer. Regardless, he was sure to find the one that fit everyone's needs, and which would probably make General Patakos give that wonderful smile of his and make Colonel Papadopoulos very happy and satisfied.